Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of Daily Origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue with our theme of looking at some traditional projects. And a little while ago we made a box that kind of looked like a star with the point sticking out. We're just going to kind of do a little variation of that, and I think it kind of lets you know that there's just so many fun ways that you can kind of play around with these designs and kind of make them your own too if you wanted to, by just switching up a couple of the steps a little bit here and there. But I wanted to kind of share it with you guys to give you an idea of how to do the steps to make it the finished way. So it's going to kind of give us more of like a trapezoid kind of shaped box. And I'm going to be using paper that's just 15 by 15 centimeter, but you can use any size paper as long as it's square. And I'll let you guys know the dimensions when I'm finished, so if you're making it as a special gift box, you'll know what to do. I'm going to start off here with my paper with the color side facing down. I want to get to a square base with this. So I'm going to start off by folding my paper in half. And you're going to want to do that for both ways so we can get these nice creases here. Open it up to the color side and then fold in half diagonally both ways as well. Will give us a nice series of crisscross creases right in the middle. After you've gotten the pre-creases, open it back up to the color side and find the mountain creases we did first. Just pinch on opposite sides and kind of push into the middle until you can squish and smush everything down to lay flat to be a nice big square here, like so. Then we're going to make sure that we get it so that that point, a closed point, is down at the bottom and all those open flaps are facing up. And I want to take the outer edge and fold it into the center. Get a good crease there. Now that we've got that crease, I'm just going to use that area to open up and make it smushed down here. So you can kind of get it open in the middle there. Take that edge, just put a little pressure on the edge and bring that edge right down to line up with that edge that you see back here, which is essentially like the center of this space. Get that kind of lined up there and then smush it down good. So you get something like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side too. Again, just taking that outer edge and folding it into the center. And then using that area here to kind of open up and smush down to make into a big kind of like kite shape here. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side too. So you've gotten all four of those folded over now. Then I want to take what you see here and fold it inside. And one of the ways that you could do that, you can either just fold it from here and just tuck it back, or what you could do is take the left flap here and just fold over to the right, so you get this nice solid space. Flip it over, do the same thing on this side too, so that we're now looking at those solid blue areas there. In my case, just reverse that crease by folding it into the center. Do the same thing here. That'll get that kind of folded back then. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side too. So we get all of those folded over to give us this nice upside down kind of kite shape here. So these steps are exactly what we did before with the star box, for example. But what we want to do is we want to eliminate all these spiky parts that stick out. So what we can do is we're going to first fold everything here into kind of fourths and try to tuck it underneath these little pocket areas that you see here. So I'm going to start off first by folding everything down, even with that edge that you see right there. And then from there I'm going to take and essentially kind of use this space up above that crease and to fold it into thirds. So I could take and roll down my paper and make it about one way from where it needs to be, then bring it down again, and try to get it as close to perfect as you can. Then when you have those creases made, what you want to do is take this tab and essentially try to tuck this little part here underneath these sides. It can be a little tricky, but what you want to do is just kind of even curve it a little if you need to try to get it to start to get in there, opening those sides up. And if you put a little pressure right there in the middle, you can get it to lay flat. So we've got that side nice and tucked underneath there. And I just want to repeat those steps then on this side here. So if I just fold down again as far as I can, even with those edges, then in this space that's remaining, fold it into thirds. And you could kind of play around with it if it's not, working perfect. You can refold it a little. Just do kind of a light fold first to make sure it's going the right way. And once you've got that kind of creased off, then use this tab right here to pull down, taking that crease even with everything and getting this to kind of tuck inside. Get everything to lay flat again. And then I'm going to repeat the steps on these other two flaps here on the inside. You can take everything, crease it over, fold it over, and do the same thing on this side too, and then just repeat the steps that you see here. So just take that part again and fold it all the way down. Open it back up again and fold it into thirds. And take that little tab and tuck it inside. Get it all smush out flat. Do this side too. And it's easy when doing this sometimes for it to get kind of stuck. This part, the little tab that you're folding is a little thick, and so you want to try to kind of curve it a little with your finger to give yourself a little bit more of an ability to kind of slip it in here. And these parts, if you pull the sides out too far, they can kind of poof out a little. So just make sure once you've finished that you put a little pressure on the sides to get them to slide back in as far as they can so that everything lays nice and flat. So you get that nice closed off space there now at the top. And then the last little bit is to just put that crease here along the bottom so that we mark where the bottom of our box is going to be. So I'll put a big crease along the bottom there. And if you want to, you could flip it over and do the other way too. We'll be able to get a chance to kind of make the bottom of the box crease defined later too. But get both of those going. And then just open up from the top here. Now the top, of course, is a little smaller than the bottom, but we'll go ahead and just poof everything out here. And you should have this kind of cool trapezoid sided kind of box where you've got a wider base, square base here at the bottom, and a smaller opening at the top. And that's kind of our finished design. Now you could tell it's the same as the star design, but these white sections before were out, like little pointed peaks in the other one, so this one has them tucked away. So the finished dimensions for this, let's see here. If we're just looking at the bottom of the box, the base here is square by 6.5 centimeters about. And the depth is about 2.75 centimeters deep. Now, if you were trying to put something in here that is bigger, you might run into, like if it's small little pieces of candy or something, you can obviously put them in without too much trouble. But if you're trying to slide something in there, you need to kind of consider the opening area here. And the opening is about 4 centimeters square, so that kind of gives you an idea. For the dimensions of that box. And I think these make really cute, decorative boxes for having like party favors, little candies and such. You can really make these look fancy when you use really pretty paper, so many options and ways that you can make this look cool. So that is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.